Good afternoon. It's Bernadette Wagner. I'm here with Prime Time for Women. It's our Mindful Monday. Today, I'm so pleased to welcome Shannon Murphy from Body Sense PT. She is the owner of Body Sense PT, and you've been in business how long now?
11 years.
11 years. Shannon, before we get started with our holiday hacks for safe, healthy holidays, perhaps you can just give a little bit about your background.
Well, yeah, so I've been a physical therapist almost longer than not, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's exciting.
So I went through, kind of my own professional development as an employee and had an opportunity to sort of do things for myself a little closer to home, and that kind of gave me an opportunity to leap into business, which was not sort of a predestined, predetermined idea that I had about things, but I knew kind of how I liked to do things clinically, and so that became kind of the foundation for growing a sort of accidental business.
And you now have a pretty large business.
Yeah.
How many employees do you have?
15, 16, and sometimes maybe a couple more. So
Well, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay. And where is your business located, just in case some of our viewers want to check you out?
We're in downtown Boonesboro. Well, we used to be in downtown Square Boonesboro. Now we're in the downtown Weiss section of Boonesboro off of, it's technically Tiger Way, but if you know that intersection of 40 and Lappin's, the main grocery store intersection.
That's great. All right, so Shannon's here today to talk to us about some tips that can make our holidays healthier and happier. You know how, like, when you're getting ready for the holidays, you have to do all those things. You're cleaning and you're cooking and you're moving Christmas trees and setting up Hanukkah decorations, whatever, and you overwork yourself. And sometimes you can actually injure yourself. So Shannon's team put together a workshop that they gave this past weekend, and now she's here today to share those same tips for those who missed it. So thanks for being here.
Well, sure. So really, in so many areas of our life, the holidays is just regular life on steroids, and so it's all of the little things that, you might have trouble with on a regular basis, but it's just to that X factor. When you multiply it by time, intensity, or whatever, repetition.
And stress, too, right?
And stress,
Yeah.
And then that's a mindset thing. We put a lot of stuff on ourselves, but, so we wanted to address some of the common things that we see from our patients when they come in and they say, oh, I was cleaning for 8 hours straight, or, they cooked all of Thanksgiving dinner, it's getting up at 3 in the morning to start the turkey, or whatever it is. So trying to kind of give some people some strategies around, certainly, common sense types of things, maybe like don't do it all at once, but
that's an
option. Lower your expectations if possible. If you're kind of striving for something maybe that is maybe not serving you,
Right.
Impressing somebody else, impressing internet land, whatever it is, but also just some practical things about, how should you be thinking about your body when you're sitting, when you're standing, when you're reaching, when you're lifting, when you're doing luggage.
Or how about when you're traveling?
And traveling, for sure. So, so we went through a lot of things from a postural standpoint, which is kind of the meat and potatoes of what we do a lot in the clinic, but then also covered a lot of just practical things that we can recommend to people, in terms of braces and compression socks and fatigue mats and just things that can make your day a little bit easier as you're going through this stuff.
So tell us just about a few of the postural tips that would make our lives easier.
Right. The biggest thing is, everyone kind of knows, oh, I'm supposed to sit up straight, but nobody really kind of understands what that means or how to do it, maybe, or why it's important. And so we talked about, just basically leverage. When you're here, and I'm going to, these chairs are awesome for this. So,
Yeah.
If you're here, as we tend to be when we do stuff, we're cooking, or, obviously in our work lives, we do a lot of this type of stuff too, but, just like if you have Corey, who's one of our PTs who gave this demonstration on Friday, had drawn a picture of some trees on a slope, and, the vertical tree is going to withstand the rain and the wind a lot better than the tree that's already falling halfway down the cliff, and it's the same sort of thing. Gravity is going to take your body where it's already going.
Right.
So if your body is going forward a little bit, it's much easier for it to continue going forward. And that has implications just in terms of the amount of strain and load that your muscles have to do to, this color is going great, to keep your body upright, but also just from a balance standpoint. So if you're kind of forward and you're carrying a bunch of stuff and you miss a step, you're already going to kind of tumble forward if you don't have that load in close and controlled. So we talked a lot about how to try and do that from, kind of sitting up tall with your tailbone, holding an active center, rolling your shoulders down and back, maintaining some space between your rib cage and your your pelvis or your
She
belt
sits
line.
like a good PT, doesn't she? Yeah, she does.
But that know and recognize that even if you do that perfectly, if there is such a thing, you're going to get tired and you're going to kind of fall out of it, whether it's 10 seconds later or 10 minutes later. So kind of being able to check back with yourself, and it's not about being perfect 100% of the time, but it's about that checking back and kind
That
of
mindfulness.
having a
component.
mindfulness. Yes,
Yeah.
certainly.
Yeah, that's great.
Very apropos for the day.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you about something I experienced. I go to the gym and I work out, but just this past week I was cleaning, getting ready for all my kids to come home, and I was vacuuming and turning rugs over, and my back was so sore, like I actually had back spasms later that day. So what was I doing wrong?
I don't know. I'll have to come to your house and watch you do the thing.
Oh, I know. I'll have her come do my cleaning. That's what I should do.
we get that a lot. So not exactly sure, but several things potentially. So vacuuming tends to be a tricky thing for folks, just because, again, it's leverage away from your body. And so we have some pictures actually on our Facebook page from the workshop where we were kind of going through those same things. Biggest thing with vacuuming is to actually move with your broom, vacuum, sweeper, whatever it is. Don't kind of plant and twist. Sometimes people kind of get fatigued, lazy, or whatever it is, or they just don't want to take that extra step, or they're just not natural movers in that way. But it's much easier because then, again, you don't get as much torque and that thing doesn't get as far away from you. So walking and moving and shifting your weight from front to back and side to side is sort of an underpinning of almost all of this. When you're flipping things over, again, there's kind of a twisting motion there.
I was doing that with rugs because
So twisting, whether it's bending and twisting or just outright twisting, tends to be a vulnerable movement for a lot of folks. So we really work with people to kind of learn how to move when they're doing heavy activities to try and take the twist out of it, or to kind of stop everything else you're doing, kind of really just focus on that as opposed to trying to do it as an incidental twist.
Yeah, and it's one of the things I thought to myself, I should have waited until my husband was there to help me flip those rugs, but I was like, no, I'm going
You want to get it done at the time.
Yeah,
right.
get it done, get it over with.
Right, so it may be as simple next time as just, turn the vacuum off, get down, and with intention, kind of get down close to it with an active core and just kind of get a better handle on it as opposed to potentially doing it kind of on the fly from a standing position and bending over, because it's that bending and twisting, whether you're grabbing one of your grandkids or a niece or nephew or the rugs or whatever it is, anything that's lower than you, when you bend and twist at the same time, that makes it difficult. So we could back this up and I can show a couple things, but we really kind of work with people to learn how to use their hips as movers.
Okay. And how about in terms of traveling, like either sitting in the car, for so many people that's uncomfortable, or airplane travel? What life hacks do you have for us there that could really benefit some people?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is as much as you can introduce time and space to that process, the better. I mean, if you're on a turbulent flight and the attendants are like, you can't stand, then you're going to have to hold on for a little bit.
Right.
But, sometimes it's just as simple as standing every hour, or standing every 15 minutes even. We kind of gave a 4-to-1 ratio in the workshop so that if you're sitting for an hour, spend 4 to 5 minutes each hour moving around.
Okay.
But even like 15 minutes of sitting, get up for a minute and just do some, up and down on your toes at your airline seat. I do that personally all the time, just because I get tired and antsy, and it's good so you don't get blood clots. But there's so many things on the wide world of Amazon and whatnot as far as compressible pillows that you can get. So there are lots of like inflatable pillows that compress down to really small sizes that you can take that give you like, good support on your back. You can throw it under a hip if that gets sore. There's all sorts of things for neck support that have sort of been created out there. So I definitely advocate for those types of things, especially if you know that you've got a long haul where you may not have as many options to move.
And speaking of compression, if you're on a long flight, you would want to wear compression socks, correct?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do personally, and I will actually use them just around my house. So, like, if I've got a long day and I just haven't gotten to that point that I can lay down, put my legs up, do whatever, like, I will put on compression sleeves or socks, and that does help with like the cooking thing, the cleaning thing. If you have varicose veins or you just are prone to muscle fatigue, which can have some other underpinnings from a medical perspective, but I do find that compression is helpful. Gives you that little extra endurance and I think they feel lovely, but
Yeah, I've actually never used them, but I'm thinking about
Yeah.
that it would be beneficial to try it. Yeah,
right.
for
And
sure.
there's different gauges, there's different ranges. So 8 to 15 is kind of your lowest level of compression, 15 to 20, 20 to 30. The more millimeters of compression you get, the harder they are to get on.
Oh, okay.
So just keep
Keep
that
that
in
in
mind.
mind.
And if you get the kind without the heel, like just the sleeves, like runner sleeves, those are a little easier to get on.
Okay.
So I tell people you don't have to be a runner to wear runner compression sleeves.
That's great. Well, I see Brittany is watching. Thanks for joining us, Brittany. If you have any questions, let us know. I did want to let all of our viewers know that if you ask a question, Shannon will shortly get back in touch with you. You can also check out her website at bodysensept.com. She has a wonderful Facebook page. Check it out there. If you have any questions, let her know. Also, if you drop us a line or ask a comment or share our our video post today, then you'll be eligible to win some pretty cool swag bag from PT, Body Sense PT. So can you tell them what's in the swag bag?
Yes, so nice segue. So I have in here actually something that we had also talked about at the workshop that I have a couple of in the clinic, and it's a postural. Whoa.
See, hold on.
Live TV here. I have no bias, no stock in this company, but it's called Upright Go. It's a wearable posture sensor. And so it integrates with a smartphone app, and it has both a tracking and a training mode, so that you literally stick this little thing on your back.
Yeah, like right here?
Yeah, yep. It's like
Okay.
a little sensor like here. Stick it on your back, program the thing, program an amount of sensitivity to it, and so if you're at your desk typing and you go like this, it's going to either take that data silently or buzz to let you know, hey,
Sit up straight.
sit up straight. It's
Oh,
your
I
mom.
love that
It's your
thing.
mom or your physical therapist being like, hey, sit up straight. Sit up straight. So there is kind of a training process to this, and just being told to sit up straight doesn't necessarily give you all of the physical attributes that might be necessary to accomplish that easily. That's what the PT side of life we do a lot of. But it is a handy tool.
Right.
And so what I've got in here is a kind of a brochure and a winner turkey dinner gift certificate, so that if you want to loan this out for a month, we'll bring you in, we'll do kind of a free consultation and kind of show you how to set it up, kind of talk through what your issues are and give you some general kind of advice on that, and then re-meet with you in a month to see how it went.
Boy, I'm going to do that.
And go from there. Bernadette's going to win her own prize.
No, I'm not going to win it, but I'm going to go visit you. That's great. Well, thank you so much, Shannon, for being here, and we wanted to wish all of our viewers a very happy Thanksgiving and safe and wonderful holiday time with your families. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye.